Hello, everyone. So glad to be here on today. We missed last week, but I am here today. And I am so excited to be able to talk with you all about tips on how I manage a dual career. Yes, as a corporate leader and as a successful entrepreneur. I am so excited that there's a lot of interest in this, and I really don't talk about that too much. So I said, well, maybe I'm on to a little something. I can share more of the behind the scenes of what goes on in IROC headquarters, also known as a transformed bedroom. As well as what goes on in my life as a corporate leader. So I'm so excited for you all to be with me. For those of you all who do not know me, I am Nickquolette Barrett, also known as the Get Higher Strategist. I am the CEO and founder of IROC Development Solutions, LLC, and I do business as IROC Resumes. I help you land the job of your dreams and create a career that rocks. Yes, I do. So I am going to ask you all, like I always do, share the broadcast as I go to a quick commercial and not quick commercial, an intro, and talk to you all, and then come back and talk to you all about my topic. So please share the broadcast with your followers and let people know that iRock.tv is on the air. I'll be right back. And we're back. We are going to have real talk about real careers, about real results. And that's what I'm here to do with you on today. And I want to make sure I'm acknowledging all this in my audience today. I want to say, hey, Tammy Chu. I'm so glad to have you on the broadcast today. Thank you so much for joining in. And anyone else, if you want to be acknowledged real quick, I want to say hello to my audience and make sure I acknowledge you all. If you all are watching on YouTube, make sure that you subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notified when more videos drop, okay? I'm usually having a guest on, and I'll have a guest on next week and a couple of weeks. But what I think I'm going to do is interchange some of my guests and also come on and talk, like I said before, about behind the scenes, because there's a lot of interest in this actual topic. And when you're in the midst of it, you don't really think about what you're doing. You're just doing it. So I'm like, yeah, I guess I could share about that. Yes, I am a career head. Yes, I love everything career development. But part of being a career development strategist is also talking about the strategies I use to manage my career as a corporate leader, and yes, my career as an entrepreneur. A lot of people think, oh, I don't have a job. I don't work for anybody. Entrepreneurship is an actual job. It is your career, and it's okay. Let's see who else I got on here. I got my Nairobi, who's always riding with me no matter what. And I got Susan. Yes, Susan is my girl who taught me and got me heavily into scrapbooking. Yes. Oh, hey, Susan. There's my Donna. Hey, Donna. And I got Kay on here. Hi. Thank you all so much for joining me. And also let me know from where you all are watching this as well. So that will be very helpful. So make sure that, again, that you share the broadcast with your audience. Okay, so let me give you all a little bit of background. So I have been in corporate America since 1991. I know I only look 30, but anyway, since 1991, my first job right out of school, I went to University of Illinois at Urbana-Champaign, and I went to work for the Yellow Pages. If you all remember the Yellow Pages, right? I sold ads, like bold ads, big ads, and things like that in the actual Yellow Pages when there was one. When you get that big old yellow book on your porch, every year I used to work for that organization, and I worked for them selling ads for about 1.5 years, and then got promoted to advertising coordinator. And what I did there is I coordinated all of the advertising for big salespeople. Now I was a little small salesperson fresh out of college, but I had some big people that I supported in coordinating all of their advertising to go into the book, made sure the ad copy was correct, made sure that the pricing and the payment was set up, all of that kind of stuff. So my first introduction into advertising via paper form. So after that, about within 3 years, I was invited to apply at State Farm Insurance. You can go look at my LinkedIn. It's actually on there. And my friend said, we worked together there. We both were from University of Illinois. And she said, Nickquolette, I think you'll be really good at this. I think you need to apply, because she left the organization and went to go to work for State Farm. So back in the day, that's when paper and pencil, you were filling out a paper application, stapling your resume. It took me 6 months to get on with State Farm. Major organization, 36 year. I mean, they're a Fortune 36 organization, and it took me a long time to get on. So I continued my advertising coordinator job and all that kind of stuff. And then I finally got on and had a wonderful career with State Farm. Really went over there and really enjoyed what I was doing. So I am in the auto part of the company where we handle claims. And I've done claims from bodily injury. I handle litigation claims as a claim representative or claim adjuster, as well as leading a team of litigation. I've done total loss vehicles when your vehicles weren't able to get fixed. I did bodily injury, medical payments, and now I lead a team of claim adjusters handling personal injury protection and medical pay coverage here in the state of Texas, Delaware, North Carolina, Vermont. No, not North Carolina, sorry. New Hampshire. I have so many licenses. It's unbelievable. And Connecticut and Delaware. I think I said Delaware. So I've handled that. And so I've had a long career, and I was very privileged. And I guess I can say privileged, and really got promoted early in my career. So I was with the company about going on 5 years, where they identified talent within me and said, well, we want to go ahead and develop you for the opportunity to get into management. And I was like, okay, fine. So I was doing my job, very organized. And they used to laugh at me because there was a saying in the corporate America, Nickquolette would come in MB time. Okay, now let me tell you what MB time was. That was Nickquolette Barrett time. I had the capability, and all this will lead into how I am efficient in my job. I was always able to manage my desk, and they used to tell us we have to manage our desk, manage our inventory within a short amount of time. And that's when we were salaried employees. And so I would come in 9:30. I was able to go to lunch for an hour and a half, leave at 3:30, and all of my work would be done. So I was able to manage it. And so they would laugh and say, well, how are you able to get all of your work done? I followed a system. I had a system of what I wanted to do, and I would always get all of my stuff done. And so I can enjoy life. So I balanced life. And as a pastor's wife, especially on Monday, I was dragging into the office because we churched it all day Sunday and sometimes on Saturday. So I had to make sure that I was able to get my job done and attend a lot of church services, because my husband is a senior pastor of a church. Been a senior pastor of a church forever. So we've been married almost 27 years. So I had to figure out a way to balance all of that. And I've just been naturally organized. And that's going to be one of my first tips. So I was able to always do my job and then some, and a whole lot of extracurricular activities as well, never thinking that it was a talent or something people struggled with. It just came natural to me. So because I was so good at what I did, I would help, peers around me get their, inventories organized, teach them the system that I created. I'm just able to see a process and be able to put it in place that works for me, and also streamline it at the same time. And I think that comes from my left side brain as well as my creative side brain. Now, I got accepted to the University of Illinois as a computer engineer back in computer engineer in the engineering college. Now, I was very good with all of the sciences, but I couldn't keep up with the math. So I left out of the College of Engineering, and it's very tough to get into a top 10 school in the engineering program. and I was accepted to that program. So I did it for about a year, and I said, nah, this is not for me. No. So I went general, and I took a lot of Spanish courses and business courses and marketing courses and economics courses. So I ended up creating my own degree called international business with my Spanish. Yes, so yo hablo español. So I have that, and also did the business part of it. So I left that and really kind of saw what I wanted to do. And I think that's where my left brain comes from, is because of that engineering background, and did all of that engineering exposure all through high school. We were privileged to go to a whole lot of competitions all through high school. So I got all of that down, but I was also very creative at the same time, hence my love for scrapbooking. Oh, let me see. I'm looking at people. Oh, seriously, I remember the yellow pages. Yes, indeed. Hey, Evelyn, thank you so much for joining. But yeah, so I did all of that. And I think all of those tips really kind of helped me throughout my career, because I was literally able to get a 40-hour job done in about 30. And my inventories back in the day when we had the actual paper files where you had to write out your file notes, I was good at really managing my career. So I was able to get into leadership really early in my career, got promoted. Within, I think I was just at 5 years with the organization. When I was promoted, I competed against 10 men who had much more experience to me, but they said the reason that I was able to get it because my section manager, God bless, rest his soul, he always had us doing litigation files in addition to our bodily injury file. So he said, no, you're always going to have litigation files so you can get used to handling litigation. So my peers didn't have that, so I got the promotion. And then I ended up managing a team out in Rockford, Illinois. Hey, Susan, that's why I met Susan. Yes, managing a team of property damage claim adjusters there. And then I ended up moving to Crystal Lake, Illinois, and they said, well, Nickquolette, you're so good. They gave me 2 teams because we were going through transition. And so I managed 18 people, combination property damage and bodily injury. But I was able to get all of it done because I saw the process and I said, I got to tackle it, and created a system. So all of those things that I've been doing down through the years taught me the skill set of being very organized. And that's going to be one of my, like, so it's like, woo, woo. I love it. And so, that's one of, let me go down here. So being organized, that's my first tip. Being organized has helped me compartmentalize how I lead as a leader in corporate America and work, and as well how I manage my business. So what I make sure that I do not do is intermingle those, because I honor where I work. I have been blessed throughout my career to have such a long career with one organization and many opportunities within that organization, but I never wanted to intermingle that. When I am at work, I am at work. 100%. One of my bosses, she found out through the grapevine that I had this business, and she asked me in my one-on-one. So she said, so I heard you have a resume writing business, and this is my one-on-one, right? And we're talking about my metrics and everything. I'm like sitting up like, how did she find out? How did she find out? Not that I was trying to keep it a secret, but she found out. And then she said, oh, that's good. I said, yes, I do. And I really love it. She said, okay. And she turned right to my metrics, and we talked about my metrics, and she had no qualms. And I have been blessed to get really nice increases in my salary raises and very good reviews, because I was able to do my job without missing a beat and manage my business. And so when I'm at work, I am at work. So I organize my calendar such that I am making sure I get everything done. If it's not on the calendar, it might not get done. Not to say I am 100%, but I can say I am pretty much 90 to 95% accurate on my calendar. I put in, when I know I have a report that's due, it's in my calendar to remind me to get that report done. If it's work that I have to get done, say, for example, I have to meet with my employees, I make sure that they have it on their calendar, and I do too. I do all of these things to keep me in line for what I need to do to make sure that I'm managing the processes of managing the work that has been endowed to me by the organization that I work for. As a corporate leader, you're tasked with so many different things. You have to manage your people, you have to coach your people, you have to performance manage your people, and you have to do your own general tasks and attend tons of leadership type of meetings. And if it wasn't for implementing those systems of being organized, I would never get it done. Now, I have to give a shout out to Tammy Chu. Tammy taught me just recently. I love OneNote. But I took OneNote to another level. So when I implemented OneNote, Tammy would take the performance information for her people, and then she would put it in OneNote, and then they would have to input their information on what they're doing from day to day. And I'm like, well, that's good, because what I do, I ended up, when I'm talking to my people, I'm typing in their performance monthly review every month as I'm talking to them. But it was more me directing it instead of them engaging and collaborating with me on their development, on their performance, because it is theirs. So I said, I'm going to do that. So I implemented that, and now I am working that. So that's part of my being organized. But I'm going to tell you on the other end about how I master that OneNote thing. But if you have any kind of calendaring system, I do not care if it's in paper or on your computer system. There are wonderful ways for you to maximize and utilize that so you can stay on top of it. Yes, we have 24 hours in a day. You can make the most of those, not 24 hours, maybe 12, and get the things that you need to do done. So being organized is key. Make sure you organize your work so you can get your work done. And then you organize your business so you can get your business done on your calendar. Now, this is why I do not intermingle the two. It's a sense of stress. Yes, it's a sense of stress. I used to try to figure out, okay, I'm working, then I'm looking at this, and I'm looking at that. And I'm like trying to work, and it was causing too much stress. And then when I was a brand new hobbyist turned business owner, because it started out as a hobby, but all of a sudden it became a major business for me. So I'm like, no, I can't do that. I have to get my mind straight on what I need to do so I can maximize that and make sure I'm meeting the metrics and the goals and the expectations of the role that I've been blessed to have. And then I can pull myself out. And then when I focus on, and I literally have to put my head like this, focus on my clients, then I'm giving them my 100% attention. So I give 100% to my organization that I'm blessed to work for. Then I turn around and give 100% to my clients. When I do that, they feel love. And guess what? My team feels love. And I'm hoping that my managers feel love too. I don't know if Brian's out there. I don't know. That's what I make sure that I do. Let's see. Yay, Sarah. Hey, yay, Shiro. Thank you, Sarah. And Joyce. Hey, Joyce. Yes, manage your day, not the day manage you. Exactly. Hey, Jaquetta. Exactly. That's what you want to make sure that you're doing. Managing your day so it doesn't manage you. And one of the things that I do to make sure, if I see something that's outside of that, I make a note of that. And if it's something that's going to be repetitive, I make sure that I maximize my calendar. If you join my iRock resumes, my VIP list, go to iRockResumes.com. You get a free download book. You can become a member of the break room. We had a session on time management where I showed my calendar and everything, absolutely free. If you join that and you become a member of the break room on Facebook, it's a free group. You can look at the replay on which I talk more about my calendar, because time management is key to being successful in your career, as well as trying to do manage an actual business. You have to have that. Okay, let's see. Let me go to. So my next one is creating systems. Oh, now this is one of the things I learned on the back end, because again, I did not know my business was going to grow to the point that it is now. Part of the reason, because I started it as a side gig. Yeah, just like a regular hobby. I only wanted to make enough to get my to take over my bills for my manicure and pedicure. Yes. And then it continued to grow, and people were getting jobs and getting these big increases. And I had directors and CEOs coming by. I said, this is something business. People keep telling people I must be pretty good at this. So it started becoming a real business. And one of the things I had to do later on is develop systems. If you're new, hear me. If you are new in developing your business, please write down all the steps you do in your business. Customer service. What do you do when a customer comes to you and asks for your service? Write down the steps. And what I found within my systems, my customers, my clients teach me what I need to do to make sure that I am managing them appropriately or managing their expectations appropriately. So I have created systems from the time that they get there, they go to the website, they can order on the website. Everything is automated. They get a video, and that's in the video that I actually just really implemented is because I developed a actual how to use your client portal book. So in the portal, they can learn how to use their client portal. And I even did a YouTube video on my YouTube channel that's only for clients only, because I just have some client videos there to do that. But that wasn't always being watched. So I said, well, because I still would get the emails. What do I do? How do I get to my portal? So I said, well, let me do an intro video. So now clients, when they come into the thing, they get me on there. Hi, welcome to iRock. And they say, do this and do that and do that. So I give them a video now to make sure that I help them make the process easier, and also helps me because when everything is automated because of the system that I created, when someone pays, I don't have to take a look at nothing until it's time for the consultation. And my calendar is set up where if someone books a call with me, it's either during my lunchtime. I'm salary, so I don't have set lunchtime, but I do block it for that time, or it's in the evening time because the majority of my clients work in the evening. So I have my calendar set up where I take calls in the evening time. And my automation process does everything else for me. I'm telling you all, automation systems are key. So create systems. Yes. That's thanks, Evelyn. So create systems. You can start writing it down in a notebook. You can do it on some kind of document, because what you're in essence are doing is building a binder for whoever is going to come behind you to do those tasks once you get to the point where you feel like you can hire someone. So when you build those systems, you're writing down all the steps. I don't care if it's the minutest thing, because I use Dubsado. Dubsado is my choice of client relationship management tool. In my Dubsado, I have it to the point that I have a trigger to change the setting where it says client paid, client booked a call. I get the email, they booked a call. Client gets the a link to their portal. They go in their portal, they get the video, they get all this. And at the end, they can schedule their quality assurance review. That's one of the things I implemented that as well. Because once I boast on my site that my clients are 100% satisfied with my work product. So to make sure that that happens, I have instituted them to come on a live call. We walk through their documents to make sure that they are perfect. Once they say, yep, I'm good, they send out 100% satisfaction. So I am servicing my customers and building a system that supports what I do. So I'm not going back and forth. If you feel like you are all over the place, going back and forth, there's a missing step in your process. So create your systems, your standard operating processes, your workflows now. Please do that. And if you're already in business and you're finding yourself not being able to do everything you need to do, that means it's time to I remember at a sermon, the guy was saying, the pastor was talking about having too many plates spinning in the air. So you know how those entertainment shows, they have all the sticks and he's running around and spinning all the plates and everything until he had all of the plates drop. and said, I got to let all the place drop so I can refocus, pull back, and figure out what I need to do. That sermon has stuck with me. And this is back in Chicago, Illinois. I'm now in Dallas, Texas. That pastor's sermon really taught me how to step back, let things drop so you can refocus. And then he built one of the most successful Sunday schools because of that. And that's why he was invited to our church, how to improve our Sunday school and making sure we get more attendance. But you have to step back. You may have to shut your business down for a week or whatever. You have to step back and then think through, what are you going to do? She said, do I ever sleep? Yes. And because of my system, Sarah, I sleep because of my system. Hey, to me. I'm so glad to see you. So that's what I do. I make sure that I have those systems in place to help me manage, not only with my business, but I have systems in place on the job. One of the things that I have done, I have what we call EOM. Oh gosh, I'm losing. What is that? Excellence of management. I think it is. Well, anyway, we have one-on-one sessions we have to do with our people, either a side-by-side or one-on-one. We're talking about their direct performance every single week. In addition to that, we're also responsible for managing our work queues, meaning making sure that we're checking our people's work to make sure they're servicing the customers appropriately and meeting the expectations. I have seen where calendars are all over the place. People have a team of anywhere from 7 to 10 people, and they have these appointments all over their schedules. Like, I'm like, what the heck is all of that? No, I make sure that I do all of my expectation setting meetings once a week, the same time every week. Wednesdays are my busiest days. I don't take clients on those days because after talking to 7 to 10 people all day long, I'm talked out. So I start in the morning with our normal huddle. And that means we just talk about the general metrics and any kind of continuous improvement things that we need to talk about. And then I'm meeting with my individual direct reports every Wednesday for 30 minutes. One time is looking at their actual performance metrics and saying, okay, what are you going to do? And then the second meeting is about me observing them working, talking to customers, and I'm listening to them. Wednesday, that is my day. So guess what? I have 4 other days, y'all. So what am I going to do with those 4 other days? For those 4 other days, I am attending staff meetings. I'm getting my reports done. I'm doing any kind of surveys I need to do and what have you. So as far as working past my 40 hours a week, but at State Farm, we only work 38.45. That's another story. That's a long history with the company. We don't work 40 hours per week. We work 38.45. So when I'm working 38.45, I'm looking at what day am I going to do my professional development. So I have that scheduled. What days am I going to do my reports? What day am I going to do this and listen to calls? So I have that all set up so that I'm able to manage that. So when I'm in the anytime, I'm off. I rarely work in the evening past the normal evening time. And I don't say normal evening time because, I am salary. So if I come in at 7 o'clock, I can work till 3:30. And then I'm done. Or I work at 8 o'clock and I'm done at 4:30. I'm done. I give my time to my corporation. And then once I shut down, I'm done. There's rarely a time, maybe once or twice a month, I may have to work over because of some unexpected thing that happens. As a salaried individual, I understand that and I do that. But I do not work more than 40 hours or 38.45 a week because of my systems, because of the things I have implemented to get my work done. And I have taught some of my peers to do the same thing. And I call it self-inflicted stress. Because you're not organizing your day, you're not creating your systems to get your work done or your business done, you're self-inflicting stress. When I see any friction, and I talk about in my house, if I see something that's causing me go crazy in the house, I'm going to try to fix it because I don't want to deal with that anymore. So I'm looking at how can I eliminate the friction in the systems on the job as well as in my business. And both will teach you that if it continues to come up, you have to think about, what do I need to do to put in place to make sure I eliminate that friction? I want you to make sure that you're doing that. Let me see. Awesome operational nugget. Hey, Steph, thank you, girl. So good to see you. I've been missing you. Oh, that's right. Oh, thank you so much, Michelle. Hey, we go back to the Dearborns. Hi. Let me see. Great information. Oh, thank you so much, Vincent. I appreciate that. Yes. Oh, Tony, you're right. 3845 has taught you how to run a business, and it does, because you have that time to get your job done. And as I'm coaching my direct reports in corporate, I also tell them, okay, overtime has to be approved. If you're not getting your job done that they have said that you can, with all the systems that the corporation has laid out, then there's something going on with you. So as a leader, it is my responsibility to make sure we figure out those systems and where the breaking points in your workflow to help you get the job done. So you have to figure out how to do that. Michelle said, yes, girl. Ashley, hey, thank you, Shalea. So I'm always sharing. Shalea used to work directly for me. So I'm always trying to teach, how can we get this job done? Because as a corporate leader, I have responsibilities. I have to make sure that I am meeting the metrics that I need to make. And if there's a breakdown in the system, I am going to make sure I do it. And backtracking to the OneNote, when my new boss, he called me. He said, okay, Nickquolette, we got to talk about this. And, he was coaching me on some things about, a process or what have you. I think you need to talk to your people about this. I said, oh, hold that thought. I shared my screen. I showed him my OneNote, and I showed him my huddle and all the information I shared. He said, oh, you already did it. Yep, 2 weeks ago. I'm 2 steps ahead of you because I saw it coming. So when I see things happening, I go right to my OneNote. I have all of my people listed in their own notebooks that they have a copy of, that they have to answer me. I'll put in a situation. What is going on with this? They have to comment in there. And I'm doing that. And if I see it happening to more of my people, I put it in a note to talk about it during huddle so I can knock it out. So my boss don't have to come to me. So when he saw my whole system of OneNote, he was like, oh my goodness, we got to have you talk about this at staff huddle to share with everybody. I said, this right here keeps me sane. Thank you, Tammy. That keeps me sane. I'm very organized, but when it came to that OneNote and how to set it up, oh, it's a lifesaver. Now, people have Evernote. I love Evernote too. Use whatever works for you. So you could just go right back there. Stop spinning your wheels and doing the same stuff all over and over and over again. Take the time. Many people don't even want to take the time to figure out what they need. You have to do that. So creating systems, standard operating procedures, and workflows have helped me manage my career in corporate America, very, very heavy type of career that I've been able to master time management wise, as well as my actual successful business. Now, since I'm talking about this, if you're interested in getting a time management and audit and calendar audit, I do offer that. Go to my website. The link is said work with us. Go to business services, fill out that information form, and check off the box of time management and calendar audit. I was hoping one of my younger resume writers was on here because I did her. She said I gave her whole life back. I looked at that calendar and I looked at lack thereof. I said, no, we're going to fix all of this. And we fixed it. And now she's more efficient in handling her resume clients and her business. And I do that often because to me, it's second nature for me. And I did not know it wasn't for everyone else. So I do offer that in case you want it. Now, my last tip before I let you all go, because I know this is a lunch and learn. And I want to respect that you all have to get back to work. And I just happen to be off this week. Anyway, so delegate appropriately. Now, what do I mean delegate appropriately? Sometimes the word delegation is just too haphazard. Delegate, delegate, delegate. But if you don't know what to delegate, it's harder than what it appears. I remember early on in my business, I hired a virtual assistant on retainer. I would pay her every month a set fee, and she would beg me for work because I hadn't gotten to the place of understanding what I needed so I can tell her to do it because I was doing it all myself. So I'm like, okay, I had this help, and people told me you need a virtual assistant. That's gonna be another one. I'm gonna tell y'all, stop trying to follow everybody because I am like the horse. I put my blinders on. I do me. Maybe I should call that next one I do. I do me. I want y'all to do you. Trust me on that. So anyway, so as I'm doing that, let me see. Who else I got here? Yeah, work smarter and not harder. So one of the things that I did is I said, well, how do I delegate things and make sure that they're doing it? So when I had to do an audit of my own things that I needed, I developed an actual job posting. A job posting of my dream virtual assistant, my dream director of events, in which I have Tammy. She was my director of events and speaking engagements. My dream bookkeeper, what I needed my dream bookkeeper to do. I drew up everything that I was doing, and you can do this too, even if you're not hiring anybody right now. But you think about everything that you're doing that's task related that someone else can do for less money or who's better at it. I'm not good at bookkeeping. I don't know how to do all that stuff. So I had to hire someone. Tammy Chu is my director of speaking and events. She's been doing it for a long time with her daughter, who I keep calling my BFF. She's 16 and I just love her to pieces. She is a brainiac. But anyway, so she's been with her daughter doing books for years. So she knew how to do that. I would just wing it. She took over that part for me. Then my virtual assistant, I didn't just call him a virtual assistant. Some of you all may even talk to him before. His name is Ian. I said, you are my director of operations. So what I did with him, once he said he could do the job and he said yes to this and all of the expectations, I said, when he comes to me, guess what I do? You're the director of operations. What do you think? Come to me with a plan. Don't come and ask me. So come to me with a plan. I said, you are the director. I want you to look at, you are good at systems and workflows, all that kind of stuff. You see what we got set up. We have a whole big board that's set up with all of the things that we do in ClickUp. Yes, I use ClickUp. All of that. I said, so when he comes to me, he makes recommendations. He now knows how to come make recommendations. So I delegated to him as director of operations to figure out any loopholes and make recommendations to me. So I'm not thinking about that stuff during the day. So when we have our meetings in the evenings during the week, then that's when we talk about. So even in your job in corporate America, I delegate things to my team. Number one, as a development opportunity. I've been in leadership for 20 plus years. I don't need no more development opportunities. Okay. So I'm done with that. My goal now is to develop my team so they can go further in their career. Because at this point in my corporate career, I don't want to go further up the ladder. I've stopped my career because now I'm a CEO of a big, I don't want to say a big organization, a very successful, thriving business. So I've changed my management hat to also CEO hat. So in the corporation, my desire is no longer to go up the ladder there because of the fulfillment I have as a CEO of my own business. So therefore, I'm giving them those opportunities. So I'm delegating to that. I'm watching, okay, who is very good. So if I have a employee who's struggling with their time management on their systems or what have you, and I have someone who is a whiz at that and managing their workload, I pair them up, say, okay, now you all are going to do it and you report back to me. And then I go back on the back end for the performance management and we talk about what have you learned. So I delegated appropriately based on the skill set of those persons to be able to do that. If there's a report that a manager don't necessarily have to do, that I can delegate to a claim adjuster who actually is doing the work anyway, I delegated that task. So that person goes in, contact all of the different members on the team to make sure that they are updating to this. And she reports back to me once it's done. So those are the things that I can delegate appropriately to the right talent, to the right skill set to get it done. So I'm not doing it all. and also in the business. And that this is something I had to learn. I ran my business internally. So I was considered you could consider me an intrapreneur, taking the skills that I've learned in corporate America and transferred it over to my business to develop my own entrepreneur company, my own entrepreneurial efforts. So I transitioned all of that I learned there to that. So when I talk about transferable skills with my clients, that's one of the things that I dig deep with my clients. And I say, okay, trust me, you have some transferable skills. And using all of my corporate experience, I'm able to identify it right away. Hence, my business is heavily built on referrals. Y'all don't see me out there advertising. I don't have any ads. I don't have none of that stuff. My business is word of mouth. People use my services and they tell all their friends. And I always say directors begat more directors, CEOs begat more CEOs, and managers get more begat more managers, because that's the company that they keep. So when you're building those kind of systems, you are also creating experiences for your clients and for your staff where in corporate America. My team, I can say this, I believe that my team loves me. They tell me that all the time, but I do believe that because I empower them. I don't always want to be I'm not a boss. I'm a leader. I'm not a boss. I manage because that's my title, but I'm a leader. I lead by example. I'm going to say, okay, what do you all think? This is collaborative. When it comes down to their OneNote and their performance, they're responsible. So there's never a surprise at the end of the year with their performance anyway, because I always have conversations. As you all could probably tell, I'm very relational. So you're going to be talking to me, trust me. Anyway, but I make sure that they're documented so they can be more engaged in their development, so they know how. And I tell them, as a career coach externally, I would not do you justice if I don't teach you the same things to help you manage your own career. I want them to be able to document and write down their successes on their goals that they're expected to meet. So when they post for an opportunity internally, that they can articulate it. So I'm like, okay, no, it's like, that's what I want you to do. I said, so I make them, I said, okay, what did you do? Who did you train? And what did you present at the huddle? Go back and put it in your OneNote for that month. So when I'm going back through your OneNote documents, I can know what impact you have made within this team and impact within the department, and even sometimes even in a segment. I'm looking for impact. So you need to give yourself credit for what you're doing. So delegating those things for them as oh, I love this. I just saw something. Oh, you're a winners coach. Yes. Oh, Sarah. Yeah. I like that. Oh, yes. Let me see. I'm so glad. Thanks for these nuggets. Oh, I'm so glad that y'all enjoying this. Tony said, claim it and speak into existence. Yes, because you have to make those decisions. And that's another thing as you're trying to manage both your corporate career as well as your business, you're going to have to make some decisions. How far are you willing to go with your skill set in corporate America? When I pulled myself off the promotability list, I was on the promotability list about, oh gosh, I think I pulled myself off about 4 or 5 years ago. My boss, she's like, what's wrong? Where are you going? Where? She knew at that point I had my business. What's going on? Then she said, I got a whole lot of inbox emails asking what's going on. I said, I have chosen the decision to pursue my own opportunity externally. Nothing against the organization. I just didn't see myself going further for me within the organization going further. And there's some other things that were going on that those opportunities weren't being very, I guess, open. That's another topic. I'll talk about that later. So I had to manage my own career. So I said, okay, I am this age. I'm not ready to leave yet. So I'm doing the math, figuring out all of those things and seeing what I need to do for my business and continue to run it. But delegating appropriately, let me go back here, was something the way that helped me do that. So I have delegated a lot of the administrative tasks to my virtual assistant, also known as my director of operations. He is responsible for managing my email, my business email, communicating with potential clients or what have you as the need. And he has to go with my persona. So he has to be my voice. I say, I want you to say you. You don't have to hide behind my name, Nickquolette. I want it to be you speaking on my behalf because my clients know I work. So they're getting that continuous service. And then while I'm at work, I am doing what I need to do to communicate with my staff, with my leadership, as well as making sure I return any calls from angry clients. And it's so funny because the department I work in, they know I do not shy away from talking to angry clients because they become my best friends when I'm done with them. I said, no, I love to talk to the customers, and I do, because it's really not about an individual sometimes, but rarely. It's really about the situation. And when you think about the situation, how you can resolve it, it's all the better for the organization and for the person. And then the actual direct employee doesn't feel it's against them. I've rarely had any instances that it was because of something that the actual adjuster have done. It's really the frustration of the process. And so I was like, okay, what's going on in the process? What haven't you done to make sure that this person gets that? So we kind of fix that and everybody's happy. So about delegating appropriately, make sure you have the right people in place in corporate America. If you have the privilege of having a secretary or administrative assistant, utilize that administrative assistant and make sure that they are meeting your needs. Have that meeting and ask them to find ways to take things off your plate so you can focus on your genius. When I hired my virtual assistant full time, not the 10 hours a week, not the 20 hours, no, 40 hours a week. That has taken me away so I can focus on my genius. The magic in me running my business is talking to my clients. When I'm doing my consultations, I'm getting everything from them and I am focused on them. I'm not focused on anything outside of that. When I finish that, I turn back on my automation and everything runs. I want to be able to make sure I give them the best. So when we get to that quality, I send them their rough drafts. They're 95% or more done. I sent a recent rough draft to a client that was a rush order. I had to work all Saturday, and because it was Easter on Sunday. The only thing he had to update was the city. He said everything is perfect. And that's because I'm working in my zone of genius. When I'm working with my team in corporate America, when I'm doing all of this kind of stuff and I'm talking to them and I'm coaching them and I'm mentoring them, I'm in my zone of genius. All that other stuff, I don't have time to do that. No. So you have to figure out where's your zone of genius and delegate the other stuff appropriately. Not just give stuff to people and just leave them hanging and not teaching them, because that's one of the things I failed when I first virtual assistant. It was a true virtual assistant. She would beg me, and it wasn't a good relationship because I couldn't give her the work I was paying her for because I didn't know how to delegate appropriately. I'll tell her to do something, but before you know it, I ain't did it already. But I was all over the place and not being able to manage it. But when I start letting go and creating the process and setting the expectations and giving the people I delegate to the freedom to think through and understand who I am as a business owner and who I am as a manager. My team in corporate America, they know how to serve me and I serve them. Servant leadership is what I'm all about as well. And on my team for my business, I make sure that they have the freedom to do what's needed. Even my bookkeeper, she would come to me, okay, you need to, okay, I'm a tech head, y'all, so I buy a lot of tech. So you need to start spending all this money on tech. Okay, because some of the stuff do the same thing. So yeah, okay. So she got me in order. We're doing so much better financially this year because of her. And she has looked at everything and saw the holes and was able to do it. I wasn't able to see it. I I like that technology. I like that technology because it's all about systems and organizing. So I'm always trying to find the next greatest thing. But that's what I had to do. Give it to the people who can do it and make sure you coach them and you teach them what you need so they can accommodate you. Don't just delegate and leave them out there. That's one of the things I didn't do before. Tell them what you need. I'm very transparent in corporate America. As a leader of my team, they know exactly what my expectations are. There's no reason The only reason that they don't know is because they didn't do what they were supposed to do. But no, they have to come to our one-on-one meetings. They have to tell me what they have done. How did they are they meeting their goals? Where's the what are they going to do about their quality? Whatever it is, they have to tell me that. I'm not going to keep. I can't keep uh, talking at you. This has to be a collaboration. We have to talk about this together because your results impact my results impact my leaders' results. So we have to continue to figure out those steps. So, it's so much I have to tell you. So making sure that you're delegating appropriately for your leadership role or in corporate America, even if you're not in leadership, and also making sure that you're delegating appropriately for the business. A CEO that I just had, Chief Diversity Officer, I just had her about a week ago, and she's doing a whole lot. And I just stopped and I looked at her. I said, you need to hire you a virtual assistant. I don't care if it is for 10 hours. You need somebody. She said, Nickquolette, I never thought about it. I said, not the one. I know the company may give you somebody. I said, but personally, you need help in managing all this other stuff that you run around here trying to do as a chief diversity officer. You're in the C-suite and you sitting up here running around. No, get you a virtual assistant externally. So if you're listening to this and you're in high levels of leadership at your organization and you have an assistant there that's only to that job, that's fine. It will be worth it to hire you a personal virtual assistant to handle your personal stuff, making your appointments and doing dropping off your dry cleaning, all of that stuff. Don't be doing that. You need to be in your zone of genius. That's how I'm able to get you the additional money, because you're in your zone of genius. If I can help you pull all that stuff out so you can work your zone of genius, guess how great your results would be, so you can command the salary that you deserve. Just imagine. I can see right through all that stuff. Anyway, let me see. Okay, let's see who I got here. No need for micromanagement because each person who works with you knows what is expected from you and themselves. Yep. I've always been that way. When I was a brand new manager back in Rockford, Illinois, I've always been able to do that because I want to make sure. And Shalea says, I love that you set the expectations up front so your subordinates know that they are held accountable for their success. And Shalea, no, she's been in my performance management conversations. I go through each and every bullet point and give examples of what I mean. So if the company is expecting this what it means based on your job, your day-to-day job. When you do it to that degree, you ain't got nothing to worry about. We real good, didn't we, Shalea? We were good. Let me see. Hey, there go my auntie. Hey, Mary. And Miriam Moore, you're a great boss. Thank you. And I love what I do. I love what I do. And it's all about relationships and collaborating and really giving the people the freedom to do what they need to do. And if more organizations will do that, and if I'm talking to any leaders who have the thought of not letting go, please, you have to let go and delegate appropriately so you can work in your zone of genius. Okay, so those are some great tips. I hope, I'm calling them great. I don't know if they're great. But anyway, I hope these were helpful for you all, because I really want you all to really see it from my point of view on how I do it, because I get asked the question all the time. I cannot believe that you run the type of business that you do and you still work full time in corporate America. And I do. And I thought, yeah, I'm like thinking, I thought everybody able to do this. But I found that's not necessarily true. It's about how do you organize yourself such that you can. So it can happen. It can be done. But you have to sometimes let those plates drop and figure out how you can get it done. And of course, I'm always available to help. So I've been helping small businesses on the side really figure out what they need to do to be successful and setting them up for success. Corporate leaders, I do the same thing with you. I do it at the job. Now, I can't charge the people at the job, but I also do it for you. If you need help in a time management calendar audit, sign up. It's an investment in you so you can work in your genius. I also have coaching available. So I coach on all types of things. As a corporate leader, I have all of this leadership experience, 20 plus years. I've been doing this and mastering it, teaching my peers and also exposing it to my boss. So he like, no, you got to show. I said, how? He was like, what in the world? I said, yep. All this boo. And one of my people just recently lost her whole computer. It just totally died. And she credits my OneNote system with allowing her to rebuild her computer files because I had everything in OneNote for everyone. I can teach you all of that stuff. So it can be done. So if you are worrying yourself, running around with like a chicken with your head cut off, doing all these things and self-inflicting stress upon yourself because you don't have these things in place, make the investment. It's a small investment. Just make the investment and get on my calendar so we can talk through these things. Okay. Let's see. I think I got some new comments here. Oh, I'm so glad it was helpful. Give me a lot of likes and loves and share this information. And, my director of operations, when he saw the interest in this topic, he said, well, maybe you need to start doing that in addition to, your interviews. I said, okay, so I'll start doing this and sharing more, background information. But if you are part of the break room, you get a chance to get on Zoom with me and we talk through a lot of these types of issues. And it's not, my break room is not about the 3 tips for your resumes, how to get your LinkedIn. I go well beyond that. So if you go to irockresumes.com and get the free download book, and you'll be on an automated drip system and give you an invitation to the break room. You have to be on my email list to get the invite into my the break room. We get on Zoom. We talk about time management. Last week, oh gosh, what did we talk about last week? We had a good old conversation. We be having some deep conversations. How do you handle conflict on the job? And so we talked about that. And let me tell you what we have coming up today. We have a session today at 6:00 and it's on Zoom. Today we're talking about self-awareness. Know and be true to thyself. So we're going to talk about that and we talk about it together. And let me see what else. So last week we talked about change management. Oh boy, we talked about last week was Q&A. Every first Thursday is our monthly huddle. So I had everybody bring in questions that they wanted to talk about. So it was really good. So I'm going to be editing and posting up that video as well. Today is self-awareness, know and be true to thyself. Next week is change management. Oh boy, not again. And then 22, DE&I, diversity, inclusion, equity, inclusion, Band-Aid or real solution. And then on the 29th, influence. Do you have it or do you need to get it? So these are free conversations for you to help you beyond the resume. Because I also want to make sure you manage your career. I'm a career coach. I am a certified career coach. So I want to make sure that you have that as well. Looking for different ways to serve you in various ways. So, okay. Yes. Yeah. Girl, that I'm telling you, it is Evelyn, that OneNote, it is the bomb. Okay, and then Shalane, yes, ma'am. You're awesome. Thank you, Shalane. Delegate so you can better perform in your zone of genius. I'm telling you, it will work. Well, thank you all so much for joining me for yet another episode of iRock.TV, where I was able to talk to you all about how I, Nickquolette Barrett, manage a dual career of a corporate leader as well as a successful entrepreneur. I thank you all for joining me. And if you are watching, please, the replay, please make sure you put hashtag replay and go out and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And did I put it in here? I think it is. No, let me see. Okay. Yeah, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So I'm going to put that in here as well. And you can catch a lot of my episodes there. I don't know why my vanity won't show. I do have a vanity one, but it won't show up for some reason. I get mad at it. But that's my YouTube channel. Join that so you can watch it and also get reminders of when I go live again. And again, watch the replay. Thank you all so much for joining. And I am signing off. Let me see what else I got here. Banners. Oh, yeah. And I forgot to tell y'all also, if you enjoyed this, buy me a coffee. So let me see. Buy me a coffee at buymeacoffee.com, iRock TV. And I should have said that earlier, but I forget about that sometimes. I just got all up into my stuff, right? Let me see. I'll make sure I got everybody. Yes. So again, thank you so much for joining, and I will see you all next time. All right. Let me go to my exit video, and then we are good to go.